Stop worrying. Don't be such a worrywart. It's summer. You shouldn't have a care in the world. You don't need to worry. There is nothing to worry about. Do those statements sound familiar? Maybe some things you've heard from the people that you love. Well, did it work? Make you stop worrying just instantly? Yeah, I doubt it. Because being encouraged or told not to worry about something doesn't make you stop worrying, does it? It's just really not that easy. It's not a direction that we can follow, because worrying doesn't just turn on and off like a light switch just because we want it to. And worrying doesn't always take a break, even over the summer. But the intention behind those statements of don't worry are really good ones, because what people are trying to tell you is that focusing on your worries and holding on to them can be harmful to you, and that it's better if we can try to focus less on what's worrying us and to try to let some of those worries go when we can. And that's why today we are going to focus on relieving ourselves of some of the worry that we're carrying around with us, and do that by making worry monsters. A worry monster is always hungry, and it can be fed anytime. And what does it feed on? You guessed it, worries. And believe me, it can eat a ton. The more worries you feed it, the fuller it gets and the better it feels, and the lighter you feel and the better you feel. We're going to start today by making a worry monster out of some everyday items that you probably have around your house. And then I'm going to share with you some ideas of how you and a grown-up in your home can actually use your worry monster to help you to better manage any worries that you might be carrying around with you now through the summer and into the next school year. So let's get started. Okay, supplies for this project. So the base of your worry monster is going to be a box. I used an empty tissue box, just a rectangular tissue box. You could use, you could use a cube-sized tissue box. And again, these tissue boxes come with some pretty cool fun prints. So not a lot that you need to do to change them if you don't want to, or you don't have any more supplies to do that. So tissue box, if you don't have a tissue box at all, any box will do, a shoe box, an Amazon box. You just want to kind of keep it in the small or medium size, but any box that you have around the house that you can create an opening into it would be great. And then as far as other just basic supplies, you would probably want to have on hand a glue stick. If you have a glue gun, that can be really handy depending on what you're attaching. A glue gun can be very helpful, but not required. And let's see, some multiple papers. So you might want to have some colored construction paper available. Probably want a piece of white paper. This is just thin computer paper. If you have thicker paper, that could be great too, because the white paper you might want to use to turn into the teeth of your worry monster. And since your hands are going to be going in and out often, if you're using this to help manage your worries, you might want something strong. So this is actually a little bit of foam, like a sheet of foam that was cut into some wacky shapes for teeth. And so that's great if you have something like that, because they're able to be a little bit stronger in that mouth. But computer paper would work just great as well. For eyeballs, I used these lids. So any kind of lid to any kind of container could be great. And again, the glue gun is really handy for attaching something like that, making it stand up. Play-Doh lids are super great. Little containers from a restaurant, right? Like a little to-go container can also be a fun possible eyeball for a monster. Yeah. If you don't have anything like that for eyes, you can just draw some eyes and glue them on your own, and that would work really well just with a regular old glue stick. Okay. Let's see, other things that you just might have around the house that could be great for bringing a monster to life. How about some toilet paper rolls? Got 2 of those. What can we do with those? Well, let's see, they could be some crazy antenna. They could be arms for your worry monster. Maybe you want yours to stand up. So you could attach those as legs, right? just another everyday item around the house that can be a fun addition. You could paint those, you could wrap those in colored paper or draw all over them, right, to change them into different colors. You can paint your box if you want to. Like I said, I think there's so many different cool designs on tissue boxes that you don't really need to do that part. But let's say you have a really clear idea what color you want your worry monster to be, then I would paint with acrylic paints if you have those. Washable paints or tempera paints probably won't adhere very well to the slick surface. So if you're going to paint, use acrylic paints, but I don't think that's a necessary step. If you don't, again, happen to like the cover of your tissue box, you can always use some colored construction paper and just cover right over, right, to change every side. What else? Pom-poms are a fun addition. If you have pom-poms or puffballs, those can you can use your imagination to turn them into whatever makes sense. I used some for some crazy eyebrows. They could become ears. They could be buttons on your monster's clothes, whatever you want to do with them. Pom-poms are great. I used packing peanuts. Again, just found them around the house from some delivery and turned those into just a little monster accessory. Cotton. You got an old pillow that you don't care about pulling the cotton out of. That's a great way to get some of this. It's called polyfill. You can get it at a craft store too. Use that for hair. Could also be, maybe you want your monster to have a beard. So cotton can be a fun addition. Using ribbons or gems, glitter, stickers, sky's the limit as far as embellishing your monster. The basics that you need are just some kind of box with an opening, some papers, and a glue stick. And let's get monster making. Okay. So I went ahead and glued those eyeballs on that I drew myself. And I've also removed the plasticky part from the inside of the mouth of my monster. And I'm just going to show you some real quick embellishments that you can add with paper. I mentioned having some white computer paper. I just kind of cut some jaggedy lines, almost like making little mountains, and cut that out and left enough space here at the bottom that I could use my glue stick and run some glue around the edge. And now I'm going to stick these on the inside of my tissue box. Now I've made some great monster teeth. I can do that again. Another little strip. And again, just run a little bit of glue and glue those in there. And I love that the teeth don't have to be straight or anything. The jaggedy and kind of goofier, the better, in my opinion. And then I can do the same thing for hair. So took a piece of construction paper and just cut some slits all the way up, leaving enough space here at the top to run some glue. And I'm going to just kind of fold that part up, right? And attach it to the top of my monster. So he has some crazy hair. All right. And again, that could be it. That could be enough. But if I wanted to continue to bring him to life and add more stuff, I can make some arms and attach some stickers and things like that to bring him even more to life. So now we've got completed worry monsters, right? Once your worry monster is done being created, now it's time to feed him some worries, okay? So just cut out some strips of paper. Again, any old strips of paper will do. You could think about the color of worry, right, for you, and maybe you want your strips of paper to be that color. But take one, and on each strip of paper, I want you to write down one thing that is on your mind, one thing that is worrying you right now. Big worries and little worries are all welcome, but one worry on each strip. And after you write it, go ahead and read it to yourself one more time, and then take it and fold it up and feed it to your worry monster. And you can do that with as many strips that can hold as many worries as you've got to let go of right now. And just write them down, fold them up, and feed them to your monster. And after you do that, notice, maybe, do you feel a little lighter? Feeding a worry monster, like being told not to worry, doesn't just make the worries go away. I know that. But the hope is that now, after you've fed your worry monster, all that's on your mind, you can step away, you can step into the rest of your day, knowing that you are not the only one that is carrying these worries now. And just by naming your worries, by writing them down and being really specific and honest with yourself about what's on your mind, that's going to help you too. It's going to help ease your mind and help you to feel lighter. Talk with your mom and dad or another trusted adult, whoever takes care of you, and talk to them about when it might be a good time to revisit these worries together. Maybe you want to set aside 20 minutes before bedtime to sit with that grown-up and your worry monster and the worries that you fed it, and spend a little time taking them out, reading them with each other, and just talking about these worries. Talk about whether they're still causing you stress and anxiety. And if they are, then spend a little bit of time talking about what can you do to help manage that in your day tomorrow. You can talk about things like taking a walk, different breathing activities that you know to do, stress balls, talking to someone about them. Just share ideas of what you might try to do to manage those worries a little bit better the next day. And then fold them up and put them back in the box. If you have a worry that you take out and you talk about and you realize, hey, this is not really a huge concern of mine anymore. I don't really feel like I'm worried about this right now. Then enjoy crumpling that worry up and throwing it away. You don't need it. You don't need to continue to feed your worry monster that particular worry. And then if you have any new things on your mind, any new worries, write those down too and feed your worry monster before you go to bed. Feeding your worry monster and then talking about what's on your mind with a grown-up and then working to deal with those worries that continue to stress you out, they will definitely help to ease your mind and to make you feel better and better able to face whatever stress starts to come your way. Happy creating and happy feeding your worry monster and happy feeling a little bit lighter and a whole lot stronger. And I'll see you next time.